Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Do a video on just a few personal things that I kind of learned and had to work through when getting my first apartment. Jared and I, my boyfriend, got our first apartment together not even a month ago. So it's literally only been a few weeks. And you know, with doing the whole process of getting an apartment, it's a learning experience. I've never lived in my own place. The only thing that I've been used to doing is like dorming in college, which you do learn a little bit about independence and living on your own, but it doesn't really give you all you need when you're wanting to rent an apartment and kind of like all the little things that you need to take into account. So I made a list of just a few things that I feel like are really important that you should evaluate and make sure that you're ready for when getting a first apartment. I just remember like a year ago, like apartment searching and all that stuff when I was nowhere near ready getting an apartment. You really have to be like mentally, emotionally, and financially ready to get your own place. It's just, you can't rush the process. You can't force the process. It just, you have to be ready for it. Like in the fullest extent as you can be ready. So this is not like in any particular order. I just kind of like jotted down things that I kind of just really learned from this whole process and thought that it was really important, and like just tips that I want to give people who are going through the process that I went through and are just wanting to, you know, things that you don't really think about. Like I didn't think about any of these things when moving in. I financially I was ready, but like just things that you don't think about or think you have to think about. This is what I kind of just want to bring to light. So first things first, make sure you have at least 6 to 7 months of rent in your pocket. I remember, like I said, a year ago when I thought I was ready to get an apartment, I didn't even have like $1,000 in my account. And I was like, yeah, like that's fine. Like I'll be good, we'll figure it out. No, you need to have at least 6 to 7, even 10 months is a great way to just know that you're financially ready, and God forbid something happens a month into you getting your place, you have a backup plan. You have a safety net. So Jared and I were just like, all right, we both want to make sure we have like 7 months of rent in our accounts before we even start looking for apartments. And quarantine was like, it was obviously like a horrible thing to have to go through, but it was such a blessing in disguise for me, at least, because it helped me save so much money. I mean, luckily I got unemployment, and that's, you know, amazing that I was able to do that. Not everyone can get that unemployment, which is really sad, but that like gave me that kind of like starting point. All right, like I can save my money. I'm gonna be home. I'm not gonna be out spending money. All I have to really worry about is groceries. Social life isn't really a factor anymore, which I spend a lot of money on, and a lot of us do at this age. And it just kind of like put life into perspective a little bit, that like it's time to grow up, it's time to save, it's time to budget. And like Jared and I were just ready. We were blessed to be able to live at his parents' home for about a year together. We had a nice little basement. It was basically a studio apartment without a kitchen. So we were really comfortable and we were really blessed, but it was just time to get our own place. We wanted our own space. We both want to build our careers, our social media, all that kind of stuff. And we, like, I'm 24, he's 27. It was time for us to just like be on our own. And where he lived was a little bit like farther out from like the city and my job, and just like the nearest Target was like a 25-minute drive, and like that sucks, you know? So we're in an area right now where everything is within 10 minutes. Like Target is 5 minutes away, Trader Joe's is 5 minutes away. Like we are in such a great location. So like I said, make sure you have that money in your pocket. You know, make sure you have at least 7 months of rent before you even start looking for a place. It's just a really, really good thing to do. It's a smart thing to do. Don't rush when you're apartment searching. I remember I was just like so excited when like looking at apartments, and I was like, all right, this is the one. And we were just, and like, then I would like do a tour, and I'm just like, you cannot rush into getting a place. You can't see 2 places and be like, all right, this is it. Because I made that decision, and then I like stopped myself, and I was like, you know what, no, stop. Let's like look at all my options in the areas. Let's look at all different kinds of areas. So like we're in Rhode Island. So like I just kind of looked at a vicinity of areas that were near Providence, where I work, which is like the main city. And we took our time. It took about a month for us. Like we started searching, and it took a month until we like jotted it down to 2 places, and then we finally made a decision. Don't look at 2 places and be like, all right, this is it. You need to tour at least 10 places. You need to talk to all different kinds of things. Ask the questions you need to ask. Make sure that you're making the right decision before you just rush into being like, oh my God, I like the way this looks and it's in my price range, let me get it. No, you need to like take all the factors into account and really like analyze and make sure this is the place for me. So if you're not in a couple like Jared and I would suggest, if it's gonna be your first apartment, to get a roommate. It really is less of a burden on your shoulders. When you're splitting rent with someone, it makes it so much easier to balance out that, you know, that rent. I mean, obviously you can go rent a room for $600 a month and you have to share a kitchen with random people and you have to share a bathroom with random people. I feel like it's just not the most comfortable thing to do. I mean, if that's what is the most affordable thing for you to do it. But and the same money that you would spend in renting a room for that $600, you could get a 2-bedroom apartment for a little bit more and share it with someone who's either someone you're comfortable with. It doesn't have to be like your best friend who you're being a roommate with, but someone who you're comfortable with and you are on the same page. I feel like getting a roommate is just the smartest thing to do, and you're more comfortable. You're not sharing a place with some rando. You're not renting a room in someone's house. It's just, that's not, you don't feel like it's your space, it's your sanctuary. And if you're renting with another person, it really just makes everything easier. Expenses are cut in half. You guys can split things. Like it really makes it a lot easier. And then once you're like financially ready after that, and it's a learning experience, you save, you do all that stuff, you can get your own place when you're ready for that. But I feel like when it's your first time getting your own place, no one's ever ready. Like no one's ever fully ready. No matter how many tips you can watch videos or whatever, you're never fully ready until you go through the experience and then you learn from it. So when applying for an apartment, make sure you have like, the whole application process was so much more like intense than I anticipated. Like I was like, all right, well, I just have to do proof of income, a few little paperwork, and that's it. No, like, I mean, it really depends on where you're renting, but like this apartment complex that we rented from, they played no games, which is like kind of comforting just to know that it's not like any random person can live here. You have to like meet all the criterias and stuff. But like the main thing that I didn't think I would have to need, and you don't think about, but obviously like you need, is like obviously your proof of income, you need your pay stubs, proof of Social Security, make sure you have a W-2, if you know, and that has your Social Security number and all of that. With the pets, I didn't realize that I had to get all this information of their vaccinations. We had to make sure that they're licensed in the town that we're moving to. All the little things, you should just like make sure that you have it all ready before you even start the application process, because it was really annoying for Jared and I. We weren't ready. Like we were ready to move, but we weren't prepared in the sense that we didn't have all the paperwork we needed. We had to go like searching last minute for all this stuff, when like if we would have like taken it slow and like talked to the apartment people and been like, all right, tell us every single thing we need so we have that ready in advance. We didn't do that. We kind of just like, it was like a 2-week process of just, all right, we need this. Okay, we're missing this. All right, we need this. And it made the process so much longer, and we were just like so ready to move out. We were like anticipating it, and it lengthened the process so much. So it was kind of like, it was sad and annoying, but in the end we got the apartment, which was really great, and it was worth the process. But now that I know everything that I need, I'm like prepared. So I would just, if you're moving into an apartment complex, a leasing office, I would call before you even apply and say, hey, can you please just let me know every single thing I need for that application, just so you're ready. And that when you go through the application, you don't have to be searching last minute for this and that. And like, oh my God, I need to go get my dog licensed. Oh my God, I need to go get the vaccination proof. Oh my God, I need to go get my proof of income. Oh my God, I need this. Oh my God, I need that. That was what Jared and I was doing, and it sucked. So yeah, be ready. Slowly accumulate what you need before moving. Jared and I were really lucky that we had a couch, a mattress, a good amount of furniture, but we were so lucky that my mom and her boyfriend took care of so many things. And I was just thinking in my head, I was like, there's so many people who don't have that, you know, backup. Like my mom took care of so much stuff. She brought me my dining table, she brought me dining chairs, she brought me a microwave, she took care of so many like little things that you need in the house, like kitchen towels, kitchen utensils, a toaster oven, the little things that you don't realize that when you move into an apartment you need, because you've always had it in like the house and your parents always took care of it, or whatever your living situation may be. It was always just kind of there. So then when we moved out, we were like, Jesus Christ, there's so much shit that we need. So if you don't accumulate it beforehand, at least have a little bit of a fund on the side that's just not even for rent, but it's for the stuff you need to fill up the house. Your kitchen stuff, your bathroom stuff, your bedroom stuff, all the little things that you don't think about, because Jared and I were just like, yeah, we're moving, we have a couch, we have a mattress, like we're good. But we didn't think about all the little things that you need that cost a lot of money, and like you need that stuff. And so we were lucky. Like my mom bought us a whole pot and pan set, utensils, a plate, a dining set, like everything. She took care of everything. And if that wasn't for her, and like I know a lot of people don't have that, so I'm saying slowly accumulate that stuff before you move out, or at least start a fund that when you do move out, you have that money to just spend and buy all that stuff. Because like you don't think about it, you really don't. You just say, oh, I have most of the stuff I need, so that's fine. But when you're not living in your own apartment, like on your own like we are, you don't think about all the stuff that you really do need. Worry about decor and smaller things after. So like I said, like get the main things you need, you know, like the essentials first. Obviously like decorations and stuff, worry about afterwards. Like that's the process that Jared and I are in right now. We got all the essentials kind of taken care of. Now it's like, all right, how do we make this place really cute and aesthetic and little things for the wall, little decorations, like do that afterwards. Focus on the essentials first. Definitely focus on the essentials. When you're moving out, get as many friends as you can to help you move. Like Jared and I are like, oh, we don't have that much stuff, we can do it on our own. And no, like it was a struggle. Get as many friends as you can, get as many people as you can to help you, because the more hands, the better. It'll be a really long moving day if you don't. We got a U-Haul. I think renting a U-Haul is the smartest decision too when moving, so you're not just like packing a car and doing trips. Jared and I rented a U-Haul and we like moved everything within like 2 trips. So get a U-Haul. I think that's a really smart idea, or at least someone with like a big van or, you know, things like that. Make sure to get your internet, cable, and electric figured out before you move in. That's one thing that Jared and I were really prepared about, and it made it a lot easier. Like we had our cable, well, we don't use cable, so we didn't get cable, but we had our internet plan all figured out a week before. We called National Grid and make sure that our electric is gonna be up and running the day that we move in. Those little things, and we're lucky that the apartment, the leasing office, like gave us all those tips and warnings, because I wouldn't have even thought of that. Like I've never moved into a place on my own. I moved into dorming and everything was there ready for me. I was home with my parents and whatever the case may be, you know, everything was always taken care of. You don't think about the little things like electric, internet, you know, those little things you have to start taking care of, and we were lucky that we were like prepared ahead of time and like we had all that set up. Try to go for a place that takes care of as many utilities as you can. And that was like the make or break for me when looking for apartments. Like I wanted either all utilities included or at least majority of the utilities included, because you may see $1,200 for a 1-bedroom, but no, none of the utilities are included. In your head, you may think, oh, I can afford that. But then when reality hits, you have to worry about electric, gas, heat, all that stuff. So we were so lucky that we found a place that included everything except for internet and electric. And that's really good. Like, I feel like just worrying about an electric bill and your internet, like that's perfect. And that only added on like 100 or something a month to our rent. Obviously, depending on how much electric you use and all that. But yeah. Try to get a place with as many utilities as you can. No utilities is included, as especially for your first place. Later on when you can handle that, fine, but for your first place you want to have to deal with as little as you can. You know, it's your first experience, you're learning, you don't want to have to worry about all those bills at once. It's gonna hit you hard. Make sure that you're really observant during your tours and of the apartments and during your walkthrough. I was kind of just like so in awe with the place that we got that during the tour I was like, oh my god, it's perfect, like there's nothing wrong with it. But then when I did the walkthrough, which is what happens like the day of your move-in day, you do a walkthrough of the empty apartment before you move in, just so you know everything is up to par. You know, if there's little nicks and knacks, they write that down so that when you move out, it's taken into account for and you don't get charged for it, little things like that. And I noticed so many little things that I didn't notice during the tour. Like in the bathroom, there was a certain amount of things in the tub that like I saw this, I saw that, I observed little holes in the wall, this and that. Certain outlets that weren't fully working, like we were just like, wow. Like the first week of us moving in, we had so many maintenance requests because I didn't take that into account. If I would have looked at, like if I would have thought of those things during my tour, I would have like had that in the back of my head, and like before moving I would have been like, hey, like by the way, during my tour I noticed that this needed to be fixed, this needed to be fixed, there was this on the wall, there was this in the bathroom, so that we wouldn't have been like doing maintenance requests the first 2 weeks. Like our first 2 weeks was just little things. We had maintenance guys coming in and they were so good about like responding to our maintenance requests and getting everything fixed like at a really good time. Like they were really good about that. But it's stressful and it's annoying when you're moving in and you're excited, and then you go and like you see something like, oh, the outlet's not working, or something's wrong with the fridge. Like it's a bummer. You want to focus on moving in and having like a swift, you know, relaxed process. And like it was a little bit stressful, but like keep that in mind when you're doing your walkthrough and your tours. Like be very observant, every little thing, like take it into account, like look through everything and make sure that you know like everything that needs to be fixed, or you know, those things, so that you when you move in, you're ready and you can just get that dealt with even before you move in. And my last tip, because I don't want to make this such a long video, there's so many other tips that I could give, but these were like the main ones that I thought were the most important. Introduce yourself to your neighbors, have a good relationship with your neighbors. Jared and I, like, we don't want any issues with anyone, and when we came in, we were really, you know, set on introducing ourselves, being really friendly, saying hi to people. Even if they don't say hi back, give them a wave, say hello. If they don't respond to you, whatever. At least you were the one that took the initiative and said, hi, how are you? How's your day? That sets the tone for who you are as, you know, like Jared and I as a couple. Like, we make it a habit of whenever we see someone out in the complex or we're walking our dogs and we see people, we say hello and we say, how are you? Like, that's just how we roll. And we introduced ourselves to our neighbors and we got acclimated with everyone, and everyone's super friendly. Coincidentally, they're like all couples in our building, which is really nice. But yeah, just get acquainted with everyone. You don't want drama. You don't want like to be walking around and being like not saying hi. Like, I think it's just not, you want it to be a friendly atmosphere. You want it to be a good experience. It's your first apartment. So yeah, those are the tips that I have. We're really happy with our place. Now we're just in the process, like I said before, of like decorating and making it, you know, the little things that make it a home. But we're just really happy and really blessed, and I learned so much through this experience that when our lease ends and we do, you know, either stay here or move on to another place, we're prepared for it and we're ready. And you know, your first apartment is gonna be a stressful one. Getting your first apartment is gonna be a stressful one, but it's also gonna be so much like fun. It's gonna be really accomplishing, and it's in the end, it's gonna be so worth it. So good luck to you in your endeavors, and for everyone who's apartment, you know, hunting, keep these tips in mind and do your research and do it the right way. Bye guys.